4.1, writing equations in slope-intercept form. So some of what we do today will be a review. Some will be new, though it may be a review from a previous year. Okay. Given the graph of a linear function, how can you write the equation of a line? All right, what I want you to do on exploration 1 is to work with a partner and try to get those 4 graphs taken care of. If you don't have to use a graphing calculator to verify it if you're not sure how. But if you are sure how, that might be a good option for you right now. And if you have a graphing calculator. Okay, wrap it up in the next 30 seconds, please.
That's a rough pentagon up there. Or if you were to connect all the lines, it would be a rough pentagon.
Rough. Is it bar?
Huh?
Is it bar?
If you connected all the lines, you could make it a pentagon.
I was just trying to make it. All right, check your work. Remember, in order to find the equation of a line, find the slope, which we call m, and the y-intercept, which we call b. Okay? So the slope of this first one, remember slope, another way of saying slope is rise over run. So a couple notes I want you to write down. Slope, which we call m, is equal to rise over run, which is equal to change in y, which we use a little delta symbol, like a little triangle with a thick side, over change in x. Okay? And then we used another formula for it last week. I think we did.
Yeah.
y2 minus y1
Yeah.
over x2 minus x1. Okay? That is our slope formula. Okay? So remember, this means change in y. And this means change in x. Okay? All right. Very good. So when we're calculating change in y, keep in mind you're really going from the order pair 3 to the order pair -1. And the order pair 3 to -1 gives me a change of 4. And then you're going from the order pair 2, or excuse me, not the order pair, but the coordinate 2 to the coordinate 0. So 2 to 0 gives me a change of 2. So 4 over 2 is 2. Okay, y-intercept is at -1. Notice when we have the y-intercept, x value is 0. And that's going to save you time later. All right? So the x value is 0 on the y-intercept. Make sure that you make a note to yourself. You want to write it up here. And x equals 0. All right. Okay, next two. Okay, questions on what we did there? Please note on these two, they don't give you the y-intercept. They don't at least identify it for you with a dot. You have to calculate it. So you went over 6 and up 4, or down 4 and over 6. So you could have went down 3, or down 2 and over 3.
Y-intercept is 1.
Y-intercept is 1.
Yeah. You can also set the picture. You can also look at the graph.
Yep, you could. Right there. Okay. Why don't you guys go on? Exploration 2. Next page, page 97. All right, let's get the solutions up there. A, B, and C. Oh.
$20 starting fee.
Dollars. Starting. Feet.
$20 starting feet, he said. I'm gonna fix it.
What in the world? All right, hold up. Now, not that I don't appreciate the
Enthusiasm?
well, appreciate you guys coming up and volunteering, but that is an absolute mess, man. All right. So I think this says $20. Okay, I think the initial fee or the y-intercept is 20. Okay, and in context, that means $20 is starting fee. All right. Now I don't want to get on you guys too much about coming up, but if you're going to come up, you have to actually write so we can read it. Now, I know that my writing isn't amazing, but seriously. All right. Approximate the slope of the line. So it looks like we cross here. Now, walking around, I saw some of you trying to put other points on here. The only place I see it cross perfectly is right there.
Yay!
So that means we'd rise 60 and run.
That's 80. 80.
Right, but we go from 20, right?
Oh.
So 20 up to 80. So our change in y is 60. Our change in x is 2,000. So 60 2,000s, which we can cancel zeros to get 6 over 200, which, as Sarah has said, 3/100. So in context of the problem, you guys, interpreting slopes should be easy if you can identify what y is measuring and what x is measuring. Remember, slope is just change in y over change in x. Our y value is measuring. Come on, man. What's our y value measuring?
Oh, dollars.
Okay, dollars. And what's our x value measuring?
Data usage in megabytes.
Okay, you guys, dollars per meg is what we're measuring. $3 per 100 megs. That's what that's saying. Or megabytes. Who is that? Seriously. Come on, man. All right. Write an equation that represents the cost of the function. The equation would be y equals
3 over 100x plus 20.
All right. Hey, we're going to be done there because we need to be done there. I want you to go ahead and take a look at Student Journal page 99 you should be good with, but I want you to look at page 100.
We're turning pages a lot.
Okay, and before we can start that, I want you to tell your neighbor what the word linear model means.
Straight model. It's probably a straight model.
Okay, time's up. If I say, give me a linear model, I am saying, give me a what?
Line.
Okay, that's a linear, that's a line, but a linear model means, give me the linear equation.
Oh.
So, in your student journal somewhere, it says define linear model. You need to know what linear model means. It means, give me an equation that is modeling that line. Okay? Now, I think page 99 you guys are pretty good on. Shouldn't be any problem at all, but page 100 is going to be tougher. I want you to work on number 13 with your groupie right now, please. Okay, time's up. Number 13. How many have an answer? Okay, how many are close? Okay, what are the two things you need to write a linear equation? Okay, raise your hand, please. Two things. Joe. Good, you need to know M and B. Okay, therefore, to use M given 2 points, how do you do that? Find M. Raise your hand, please. Got 2, 3. Need people in the back also. Yes, Kai? Good. Slope is equal to your change in y over change in x. So remember this formula. y2 minus y1 over x minus x1. Remember, y goes on top. Why? Because it's y. All right? That's why. All right, there are 4 seats to this ride. So if you think of it this way, 1, 2, 3, and 4. y2, y1, x2, x1. There's x, there's y, and we got our 2's and 1's. So if we label them, plug them in, y2 is 4, y1 is -1. That's why we put the parentheses, otherwise you usually mess up there. x2 is 8, x1 is 3. 4 minus -1 makes 4 plus 1. 5 over 5, which is 1. M is 1. Once I know M, I can use this cool equation that I have. Y equals what? Mx plus B. Okay, now I don't actually have B yet. However, I have M, and I have some xy values. I could use those xy values in that equation. So I could say, well,
that's cool.
y equals mx plus b. And in order to solve for b, I could plug in m, because I know that. I can plug in an xy value. Which ones look easier, 3, -1, or 8, 4?
8, 4.
8, 4. So we've got to keep them together. So we'll go with 8, and x, and y is 4. And now I just have the single unknown of b. So if I solve that, I get 8, 4, and b. Subtract 8 on both sides.
That'd be -4.
No, you don't get -4 when you subtract 4 from 8.
Get -4.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, you're subtracting 8.
All right, we're done?
I thought I was doing it the other way.
Yes?
Yes.
No, we're not done.
5.
What do we need to do now?
Finish this whole page.
No. What do we need to do with that? Write the equation. So what is the equation? Yeah. Y equals m, which is 1, so we don't need to put that in. X plus b, which is -4. So if you wrote it as y equals 1x plus -4, we'll get rid of the plus negative is minus, and then that's a 1. Okay. All right. Now I think you got it. Try number 16, please. Lucky number 16.
Why is it
yeah,
there
it's
as
all
12?
negative.
Because it can drive, dude. It's 16.
Slope of 1. Four. B. Y equals -x plus. This is easier after I've had a kid. So.
All right. How many got it? -x minus 5? So right here I kind of ran out of room, so I had to do -2 minus 3 is -5, and I'm left with b. Okay? Now, guys, I wasn't going to show you this, but someone asked if there's a shortcut. And I really think there is a shortcut. However, it only cuts out this bottom part. So you still have to find the slope. But once you know, there's this form called point slope form. We actually study it in our next lesson. But point slope form is this. y1, or it's y1 minus y equals m times x1 minus x. So if you want to use this, you can. I think it's quicker. This is called point
I remember that.
slope form. Okay, point slope form means if you have a point and the slope, you can use this equation to write the equation of the line. So what I'd do is I'd use my slope, plug that in. I'd use a point, so whichever point you want, so maybe we use this one, -3. That becomes our x1. And then our y1 is -2. Oops, excuse me. This should be, I've got this backwards. This is x minus x1. Sorry. And that's y minus y1. Okay, so that should be y minus -2. And it should be -1 and x minus -3. But anyway, if you guys, if you want to do that, that gives you y plus 2 equals -1 times x plus 3.
We can't see that.
Which then becomes y plus 2 equals -x minus 3. Or y equals -x minus 5. So, Mercedes, I don't know if that's any shorter, but that is a way to go. Make sure you use the right formula. Don't you copy down the wrong one.
It's a longer formula, but it gives you both answers.
Yep. You don't have to do two different things then. So that's point slope form. Okay. Guys, next, number 19. Take a look at that. Tell your neighbor what this gives you right here. Write a linear function f with the given values. What does that give us?
What does it mean, write a linear function?
Write a linear equation. What is this right here?
F of
Usually we think of that as f of x. So x is 6. So this gives me the ordered pair 6, -2. So when the input is 6, the output's -2. When the input here is 4, the output is -3. Now you have 2 points, just like you had up here. Now you can write your equation, or calculate your equation. Okay, so tell your neighbor what 2 points you're given for 22.
2, 6, and 7, -.
Okay, Vincent, what's 1 point I'm given? 2 and 6. Good. Mac, what's another point I'm given? Yeah, Mac. No. What's my input on this one? 7. What's my output? There you go. Okay, now you can write your equation. So I'm not going to go through the process of writing the equation because I think you guys can do that. Okay, but while I'm handing out your assignment for today, I want you to complete number 25 with your groupies. 25. An electrician charges $120 after 2 hours of work and $190 after 4 hours. Write a linear model that represents total cost of the function, number of hours worked. You guys back there that are talking, knock off the talking, please. Okay, you're given 2 coordinates. Okay, hours. Okay, hours or any kind of measurement in time is generally your x value. So this would give you the ordered pair what? 2, 120. Okay, and this one gives you the ordered pair?
4, 190.
4, 190. Okay, and this is linear. You should now be able to use your slope formula and write out a linear model. So after you go through that whole process, you should get y equals 35x plus 50. Now, how many got that? Okay, what's our initial phi?
50.
Okay, when you're looking at a linear function, your y-intercept is your initial phi. That's what you start out with, so $50. How much does the electrician charge per hour? Well, notice our x value stood for hours. Our y value stood for dollars. So when we're dealing with slope, our slope is y over x, which is dollars per hour. So this says $35 per 1 hour. So how much do they charge per hour? $35. That's our rate. That's another name for slope. So where you wrote down all those names for slope, another one you can write down for slope. M stands for rate. Logan.
If it's $35 an hour, then how do you get 120 in 2 hours?
Because you have an initial fee of $50. So for them to show up, you have to pay $50, and then they start charging you. Okay?
But couldn't they just work slower?
They could. That's when you would go with a different person next time. All right, let me know if you have questions.